Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hold My Whistle. Today is September 28th. I'm Paolo.
I'm Foy.
And let's get into it. Today we're talking about our starting lineups and running the pine. We got a UFC fight coming up soon. We're going to be talking this week in the NFL. The Ryder Cup teams were selected, and we're going to be doing an NBA preview. But let's get into it, Sean. We've got our brand new whiskey. We did a whiskey time today.
Yeah, it was quite tasty. We went a little off track, more so than normal. We didn't go old fashioned today.
No, we weren't 100% ready for our whiskey time.
Yeah, we kind of threw it together last minute.
Well, the wife said, "Hey, you guys look like you need a whiskey."
We looked at each other. We looked like shit. Looked like we were dragging ass.
Yeah.
So when we went to go get some snacks,
we got some real fuel.
Yeah. So today we are previewing Maker's Mark Cask Strength.
This stuff is no joke. It's 55.65% alcohol. That's 111 proof. This is the highest volume alcohol we've tried, but it's Maker's. We got the red wax going.
Yeah. We went on the rocks.
Yeah, one cylinder shaped ice cube, and not bad. It's not traditionally how you drink it.
No,
I like drinking
not.
Whiskey this way.
It's not my thing, but I can live with it today.
Yeah, we needed it, and surprisingly, really solid.
Yeah, we made a couple of videos, which should be on Instagram real soon.
Yeah, you can see Sean working on his pour. Really solid pour. He knows how to pour me a strong one.
I think so. I think it was pretty good. Pretty good for 30 seconds of rehearsing and just getting it done.
Right, and I just like how we came up on this was our choice. We went to the liquor store and we went to their raw section.
Yeah.
There was only one bottle of this left.
And it was between that and the 46th.
I think I've had that once before.
I think I have too.
But yeah, we went with the strong one. We thought it'd be fun to see how it goes, and I thought I was going to have some rocket fuel.
Yeah, it's surprisingly smooth with a little bit of bite.
Yeah, you smell the alcohol. You're drinking something tough, but it's like when you eat something spicy, but it's not overboard. It's just the right amount of spice. It has good flavor.
Lasts for a little bit, but then it dissipates.
Right. That's what this Cask Strength Maker's Mark was for me. So pretty solid, and it wasn't that expensive because we got in the raw section.
Yeah, right.
So that's good for me.
It's kind of like the clearance rack.
Yeah, exactly. No, so that's our whiskey time. I definitely recommend it. I would say, I'll drink it neat. I think it'd go good with cola. I don't know if it would overpower an old fashioned.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it might be a little on the rough side for the old fashioned, but I don't know. I'd have to sample it.
But it's an awesome one to drink neat or on the rocks.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with that one.
Yeah. All right, but let's get into our starting lineup, Sean. This is going to be a quick one today.
I'm going to go with a guy we talked about last episode. Pretty sure we talked about him last episode.
We did. He's a pretty popular guy these days in the NFL.
Yeah. I'm going with FitzPatrick, Ryan FitzPatrick.
I thought it was FitzPatrick.
Isn't that what I said?
Oh, did you? I thought you said, okay, you did say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that. But, they did lose. He did throw 3 picks, but I'm going to say 2 of them.
What a comeback.
2 of them weren't his fault.
It was a tip drill.
One of them was, the protection kind of slid in and let the outside rusher come in and get his hands up. The other one, the guy kind of just stopped on the sail route and he threw it to where he was going and the receiver stopped and it wound up being a pick. The pick 6 was definitely his fault. That was a shitty throw.
Right. But that was right before the half and they were trying to push it up the field, right?
I don't even remember what part of the game that was, but
they were come back, and then he started coming back, throwing the ball.
He's the first quarterback to throw for 400 yards in 3 straight games in NFL history.
That is huge.
And I'm sure fantasy owners who actually started him love it.
I had to play against him in one of my fantasy leagues,
Did you really?
I was so juiced for a second because I was like, "Oh, I got this with the 3 picks," and then bam,
banging
yards and touchdowns,
banging out 3 tubs. 412 yards, I think.
I haven't seen a score like that for a quarterback or points like that on a quarterback with someone who's thrown 3 picks.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. And, I haven't seen Tampa on fire like this since 2002, 2003.
Yeah, right? That's back when, Brad Johnson was their quarterback, and we all know how that guy did.
Well, you never you never think Tampa is like a high-powered offense.
No, I mean, they're putting up points against tough defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat the Eagles, they beat the Saints. I mean, both returning top 10 defenses.
And even though Pittsburgh hasn't been doing too hot this year in the beginning, they're always a tough D.
Yeah. You know, the scheme they play, the pressure they put on the quarterback, and, you know, it's one of those things that for an offense, it bodes well. And now with Winston's suspension up, where do the Bucs go?
Well, I think they already clarified that he's going to get the start anyway, right?
Oh, did they?
Well, last week.
Fitz is going to stay.
Gets the start. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's
you
the right move.
You got to ride the heater.
I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, Winston's a franchise guy," but you know, and the big knock on FitzPatrick is look what he's done in previous places. You know, he's kind of like an anomaly. You know, he shows those flashes of greatness, and then the real FitzPatrick shows up and he shits the bed.
Well, also, you got to think where he did it. He did it in Buffalo, and he did it in New York, right, with the Jets.
Yeah.
Which at those times, I don't think they had the passing threats they have right now.
No, he's
and
definitely got some weapons. They really
complement his arm.
Yeah, he's got some weapons.
Because that dude, he chucks it.
And, you know, he's got a pretty uncanny ability to scramble for an older guy.
Right. He's a big guy. He's a little bit of Big Ben, but he's got as far as the scrambling, it's not like he's going to scramble hard and get positive yards. He's not going to rush for 50, 60 yards.
No.
But he's going to keep the pass threat alive.
Yes.
Yeah, so Fitz, you're all over this.
Well, yeah.
He's all over Hold My Whistle. We've been talking about him for 3 weeks.
Right? I mean, you know, the Conor McGregor lookalike show last week was awesome.
Oh, and it's fun.
Yeah, he's making everything, he's keeping the levity clean, you know, he's just having a good time. You know, granted they didn't get the win, but everybody in the locker room is super positive and just, you know, it's a promising direction.
It's someone we could rally behind, or you could rally behind. You're a Buck fan.
Yeah.
But it's, all positive stuff, and it's magic.
Yeah. Who do you got? Who do you got?
Well, it's two teams really, but mostly Oklahoma, I'd say. This last week, the University of Oklahoma Sooners played against the Army football team, and I think it was just a good morale thing. It was a tight game. OU beat them last minute by one touchdown. I think it was 21-28. And when the Army team was walking on into the locker rooms at the end of the game, they got a huge round of applause from all the Sooner fans. You know, just first off, they're serving our country. Mm-hmm. You know, they played a hell of a game, and just the Sooners showed them mad respect as they left the field. And then on top of that, the Army team, most of the time you leave a locker room and it's full of crap, tape and just dirty. The Army team left the locker room the way they found it, spotless.
Good
for
them.
Just show them good. And it was just a good showing of what this country's about. I love the Sooner fans. You know, it brings me back to when we went to your birthday party and we watched the UCLA Sooner game. And we sat in the middle of all the Sooner fans.
Yeah, we were in the Red Sea.
And did we talk smack? We talked smack, but in good sportsmanship, in good nature.
And we met some nice people from Oklahoma.
And that's what I'm saying. They knew we were representing UCLA, and they were inviting us back to their tailgate.
Yeah.
Come watch the game with us. Do you want to come to Oklahoma and watch a game?
Yeah.
They were the nicest people.
Oh, definitely. I can't remember the guy we were sitting next to because he kept talking about all the national titles they won, and you pointed out like...
The one. Well, I was like, look at all those banners, and those are Pac-10 championships. I was like, not 1964.
It was funny.
It was a good times, but you know, and maybe we don't see it too much out here on the West Coast, but college football fans from Middle America,
it's different.
It's different, and they're awesome and they're nice. And I think this Army Oklahoma game was just a big example of what it's like to be into college football and having respect for your opponent.
Yeah, my theory with West Coast college football is always like this. You know, you have your SEC fans, everybody's diehard. You know, they pack the stadiums and they tailgate hard. The West Coast, the games are always later. There's a little bit more to do, like in terms of like being a Pac-12 California school. You're in LA. You know, you're not the number one show in town.
No.
You know, the nightlife and all that other stuff takes precedent over college football. And to me, you get these teams from the Midwest where it's, more small town feel, kind of like a high school game.
Right.
The town shuts down and everybody goes to the game. That doesn't really happen in California.
Not too much at all. It's, and the pros are, I think they're taking over LA again. An example was the Coliseum tonight, Rams versus the Vikings.
Oh,
that
yeah.
place was packed.
Oh, it was so packed.
I compared that to the Rose Bowl when it was Texas versus USC.
Yeah, what was that, 07?
A while back, yeah.
It's nice to see people showing up in LA for games like that because LA is way too big of a city to not have a good pro team following.
Yeah. But even still, like, let's say, SC was one of those up years, and I love California and I love the people out here, but I don't see them doing something like Oklahoma fans did for an Army team.
No, I don't see that.
Giving those boys the love for serving our country, doing the right thing. They're all going to West Point. Mm-hmm. Just think about the academic load on top of them as well.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
It's good to see that. A little bit of my patriotic bone just like gets real proud. I tear up a little bit,
Oh.
But it's just good to see.
Yeah. Do you need a hanky?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Get a little.
Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but so hey. I'll give it both. I'm super proud that the Army team to compete with an Oklahoma program.
Yeah, well, they run a triple option offense, don't they?
You're going to have to play some old school.
And, that's what makes those teams so successful against big programs because they're used to seeing spread, fast-paced, like just kind of old school run and shoot, like a lot of passing games with some zone game behind it. If you're not technically sound against a triple option team with like,
they're going to
your basic
3-4
rules.
yards.
Oh yeah, they're going to gash you. They're going to wear you down. They're going to wear you down.
They're going to wear you down. They're going to control the clock.
Yeah.
And they played a hell of a game.
Yeah, you get limited possessions.
Yep. So hey, Army, Oklahoma, you're in the starting lineup. Congratulations.
Congrats. So instead of riding the pine this week, we're going to go into shitting the bed. Shit the bed Sunday will be taking over for riding the pine only during football season.
Right. We decided, we're like, hey, we can't be that negative all the time.
Right. We got to keep it somewhat positive. So we're only going to do one negative.
We're going to put the bench. We're going to put it in the garage. We're going to keep it clean for a while.
Yeah. Once football's over, we're bringing it back.
We're going to bust out the diapers. So for you, Sean, who's shitting the bed?
Okay. So for me today, I put two guys on my fantasy team. I drafted Derrick Henry in 2 leagues. I don't know why, but there's
a guy every year in the draft that you put on a couple teams.
Yeah,
he's on both your teams.
He's a guy that he's the main guy now, and everybody's like, oh, he's gonna be the guy. He's gonna do great. But here we go. Another Alabama back not living up to his status. Coming out of college, he was a stud. Got drafted in the late first, early second by the Titans, and the dude's a goal line beast. But now with DeMarco Murray gone, he seems to not being able to get it going.
Yeah, he's not an every down back. He can't be one of those.
He's a first and second down back because in the passing game, he's like non-existent. They bring Dion Lewis in and throw him the ball 8 times a game.
Yeah, he's not that much of a threat.
And, he's rushing 16, 17 times for like 50, 60 yards. And it's killing me point-wise. I'm getting like 4 or 5 points for him, and it's just crushing my lineup.
And it just hurts anyone that you have on the Titans. The pass game's not really there.
Oh, it's non-existent. I mean, when Mariota's out rushing the starting running back off of 4 carries, it's tough.
Yeah, and I love Delaney, but that's your number 1 pass threat?
Well, no, he's out. He broke his ankle.
Right.
He broke his ankle for week 1 or week 2.
So there's no one.
There's no one. Well, they got Corey Davis, the rookie out of Western Michigan. He's a stud.
Okay.
But, when you don't have a run game, you can lock him down and
then you're
not worried about it.
There's no balance.
It's whack.
Sit your Titans.
Yeah. So my second guy is Everson Griffin. SC guy, high on him coming out of college. He went to the Vikings. Been tearing it up last couple years. And he went and got himself arrested. It didn't really say for what. I didn't really look too deep into it. I just read like a basic report on it on my fantasy app. And he's taking some time away from the team for personal reasons due to the arrest. So I guess he lost his shit, and now he's got to try and he's pulling a Josh Gordon, basically. He's away from the team trying to get his shit together.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude.
Rehab.
Something. I mean, there's something going on there.
Maybe, do you think he got a boat and went on a lake with a whole bunch of
what, Le'Veon?
Women of the night? No, he's a Viking.
Oh.
Remember the boat incident?
Oh, dude, when was that?
Oh, who was on the team? I don't know. It was 2009, 2008.
If you can remember who was in the boat incident for the Minnesota Vikings, hit us up.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was kind of unheard of. Like, just out of all this stuff,
the fact that you remember that is unheard of.
Oh, well, that's for Minnesota fans. Like, as far as drama, without Randy Moss, like, what else was there? Like,
exactly.
That's all I really remember.
It's like, come on, dude. Pro athlete. I mean, there's something wrong. I mean, he might have a problem, which he's not fully disclosing.
Hopefully he's okay. But as far as what we can see right now, he's shit in the bed.
Yeah. So Paolo, who you got shit in the bed this week?
Well, this one's a tough one for me because, I'm a diehard. I love me my San Francisco 49ers. And this last week against the Chiefs, they completely, as a franchise, shit the bed. Let's go ahead and start off with the leader of the team, the quarterback, Jimmy G. I just got my brand new Jimmy G t-shirt.
T-shirt?
I don't buy jerseys.
Okay.
I'm not a jersey guy.
All right.
I got the T. I got the white one, the throwback, the 94 look.
Okay.
Right? It's pretty fresh. I got the whole family gear. Elisa's pregnant. I got her the maternity, like big belly 49er fit. I got Lincoln his little baby 49er jersey. Came in, I was stoked, ready for the game against the Chiefs because the Chiefs are on fire.
Their offense is legit.
I didn't expect to win, but I expected to fight, and they're kind of in the game.
At the end, they were in the game.
At the end of the game, they had to make a comeback, and Jimmy G almost made a comeback until he decided to not run out of bounds and plant his foot and show some toughness, which most of the time I kind of like, but you blew your knee out.
Dude, you got like 15, 20 yards down the field, run out of bounds. You're not paid to cut back.
No.
I mean, he had 3 defenders bearing down on him, and he's trying to cut back into a guy who's already got position on him. Just run out of bounds.
And not to mention, you are the franchise guy.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even know the backup's name. I know he's already played a little bit here and there, but...
Oh, Beathard.
Right.
CJ Beathard.
I can't rally around him.
I mean...
I feel like this was the Niners 3 years ago.
Right?
It's like...
that just does not bode well for them.
But on top of it, the Chiefs made them look bad. Oh. They were working the ball. Everyone was catching the ball. Shoot, Sammy Watkins caught a touchdown. It was like...
That's their offense, though. Their offense has so many weapons to stretch the field.
It was my first real look at watching a whole game with Mahomes, and he is a baller.
Dude, the dude's got a cannon.
A cannon. That thing flies.
And he's making good decisions because he didn't have a great preseason. I think he threw 7 picks in 2 games or something.
I think he's got a little bit of gunslinger and he tries things. Mm-hmm. And then I think he went back and went to the chalkboard and really saw what he's good at. And, he's got good coaching or he's really making just savvy decisions.
He's at what, like 15 touchdown passes in the first 3 weeks or something?
That's insane.
He is just slanging that rock.
Yeah.
And he's got weapons. Like I said, he's got weapons. You got Tyreek Hill to stretch the field. You got Travis Kelce underneath. I mean, the emergence of Sammy Watkins actually doing something for once.
Yeah, no, he's doing great. And he's getting yak. He's bonus for people in fantasy leagues.
Yeah. I mean, then you throw in Chris Conley. Chris Conley came out of Georgia. Yeah, he's a 2nd or 3rd year guy. I mean, he was the number 1 guy in Georgia, and, he's even catching the ball a little bit.
Yeah, but with the 49ers defense, Reuben Foster came back this last week, and I'm thinking, hey, let's go D. And they just chopped them apart, and then the fouls started coming. The 49ers had, before the first half, I think it was right over 150 yards of fouls.
Yeah,
penalty yardage. Penalty yardage.
That's brutal.
It's insane.
The funny thing
that's one of the things that shows more of a rolling downhill type of thing. It's those penalty yards could hurt you bad, and the whole season doesn't look great now.
Yeah. The funny thing about the Chief offense is we've mentioned all the passing stats and all this, and the receivers. The one thing they really haven't got going recently is the run game. Kareem Hunt has been, subpar at best in terms of the run game. Granted, he did score 2 short touchdowns last week, a couple 1-yard tubs, but he hasn't really broken any big runs. And I don't know if that's a good thing, looking down the road, but it's like your run game really sets off the pass game.
Yeah. Well, especially for the Niners, I think they're more of a run stop defense anyway. Secondary stinks.
Yeah, it's been questionable for a while.
And so you got to throw the ball.
Yeah.
If they're gonna go against the running back, throw the ball, and they got the people to do it.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out for both squads. I mean, the Niners just they're in no man's land right now.
Yeah, we definitely took 3 steps back. It's it's where I show my real faith. When all those 49er fans that came out 5-6 years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, where are you now? Where are you now?
Yeah, right.
Yep. Well, hey, we had a game tonight though.
What a game that was.
Yeah, Thursday night football. Vikings-Rams in the Coliseum. We talked about it a little bit today. The Coliseum was hype.
Oh, dude, it was rocking.
And this was no joke football game. It was a shootout. Points everywhere. 2 great quarterbacks. And Jared Goff, I think, is kind of emerging right now.
Yeah.
With his, the coaches doing a good job, or the OC they were talking about.
He threw 5 touchdowns and I think 440 yards or something. I mean, if you look at it, every starting receiver for the Rams bonused in fantasy, which means they got over 100 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had 170 something.
Thielen, both seasons. White wide receivers went off today.
Back to the Rams receiving core. Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns and like 170 yards. Brandon Cooks had like 5 grabs, touchdown, 100 plus yards. Robert Woods had 5 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Todd Gurley caught a touchdown. I mean, it was just all over the place.
On the Viking side, Thielen caught 8 passes for 135 yards in a tub. Robinson, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Stephon Diggs had 11 catches for
123 yards.
Yeah.
Just became that guy. He was catching everything.
The run game was pretty non-existent for the Vikings. Dalvin Cook's first game back, he didn't look great, but the Rams defense is stacked against the run.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins threw 422 yards, 36 for 50.
Yeah.
14 incomplete passes out of 50 throws.
Well, he threw the ball a shit ton last week because they were getting crushed by the Bills. But he looked good this week off a short week, coming back, making good decisions, throwing the ball on time.
Good. I think he's fitting in well with the Vikings. It's a good choice to pick him up and pay him.
I'm going to say there's got to be more 400-yard throwing games so far in the beginning of this season than there's ever been, at least that I can remember.
Passing yards this is probably a record year for passing yards.
And, the funny thing is, going into the season, everybody's talking about how good running backs all over the league are. In my opinion, they really haven't shown up. I mean, if say we're just going off the top 4 backs, Le'Veon Bell hasn't played. David Johnson caught a touchdown pass, but the Arizona offense is terrible, so he can't run the ball.
Gurley's not doing bad.
No, Gurley's the one. Gurley's the only one doing decently. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't look great. His offensive line's banged up. They have no threat at receivers, so everybody's stacking the box. He's getting some yardage. He scored a touchdown last week, but just in terms of how good this year in running back was supposed to be, it's kind of a disappointment so far.
Yeah. Even with Gurley having the game, the year he's having, he only had 83 yards for 17 carries.
Yeah.
It's not huge and no tubs. But they were throwing the ball though.
They didn't get inside like the red zone to have to run the ball. I mean, they were scoring from distance.
Yeah, well, he caught 4 passes for 73 yards, so
yeah, combined yardage, he tore it up.
Oh yeah.
He's got that Christian McCaffrey-esque numbers.
But that's what we're saying though, is the run game is not that important in the NFL right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody's getting it done. So last Sunday, last week in general in the NFL, the longest rushing touchdown by a running back was 11 yards. Emmanuel Sanders had a 35-yard jet sweep rushing touchdown, but
not a running back.
So what does that tell you? The running backs really aren't breaking it. I mean, look at Leonard Fournette hasn't played in 2 weeks. Dalvin Cook didn't play for 2 weeks. You get all these number 1 guys not really doing a whole lot.
Yeah. But it was a hell of a game. The Rams ended up pulling it off 38-31, and now they're 4-0.
Oh, Rams are dirty.
Wow. I knew they were going to be one of the more powerful teams. I think they're definitely, making a presence this year. A lot of people knew it, but really impressive against a Rams team whose record doesn't really resemble
Vikings.
how good. Vikings team who does the record's 1-2-1.
Yeah, not great.
They are way better than that.
Yeah.
Their record does not really describe who they are.
But if you look at it, who in the NFC is going to beat the Rams?
Oh, in their conference, they're going to
dude, their conference is shit right now.
The Seahawks are no threat.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are no threat. And, I already put the Niners on the bench, or they're shit in the bed. So,
that's stranger things have happened, but you got to look at it. It's like nobody from their conference is challenging them. Let's see, NFC East, Cowboys look bad. The Giants are, okay.
Yeah.
Philly doesn't look great. Wentz came back, and Alshon Jeffrey's back this week. So, they still have Ajayi out. Their offense hasn't looked too spectacular.
Yeah, not too great.
So it's the Rams conference to lose.
Oh yeah, and on top of it, I am loving Aaron Donald right now,
dude. That's what happens when
Two sacks.
That's what happens when you get paid.
Oh yeah.
You get, like we say, you get what you pay for.
And I'm loving that. Most of the time, you get the paycheck, and a lot of guys sit back. They kind of like sit back on the money and get comfortable. The two defensive players who got paid this year are playing hell of a good football game.
Yeah. I love that they keep comparing Khalil Mack's stats to the entire Raiders defense. It's like, we need a pass rusher. Well, you traded probably one of the best pass rushers.
If not the best.
Yeah. And you have no production from your D-line. But to be all honesty, I don't think Khalil Mack really wanted to stay in Oakland. And, it's one of those things. It's like he wanted to get paid. But if he wanted to stay, he would have budged a little bit.
Yeah, in the long run, not that I'm a Raider hater, but what a good move for him.
Oh,
and not to mention that they had a Sunday night game, Monday night game, back to back, where the whole nation got to see him.
Yeah, and he fucking killed
it.
Put
on a show. He put on a show. He was phenomenal. But yeah, so this last Thursday night game, I think it was the best Thursday night game we've had so far.
Oh yeah, and not to mention the Thursday night games so far this year have been pretty good.
Not too bad.
Are you glad? Always the lowest ratings.
Well, they're not color rushing anymore.
No, I noticed that. I did like the color rush.
Did you?
I was a fan of the color rush.
There was a handful of teams that were just ugly.
Yeah, but I was a fan.
Yeah.
It's
I think they became
different.
alternates. I think you can color rush it, but it's just not a Thursday night thing.
Yeah.
The option is out there for the NFL, but they just don't do it. Well, because they want to sell jerseys.
Yeah, they want to push product like most businesses do.
Yeah. But the Thursday, who was the best looking color rush for you?
I actually liked the Titans all blue look.
The powder blue.
And then the Jets. I actually kind of like the Jets green look. Green. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just kind of was a fan of that.
I kind of like it's another powder blue team. I like Carolina.
Yeah, that's a good look to me.
But I did not like the lime green Seahawks.
No.
I was not against that. And I'm going to bring up the Niners. I did not like the blackout. I'm a blackout fan, just not for my Niners.
They have no black in their uniform.
It's not a primary color for them. It's
really not their thing.
If they went all white, that's cool. White and red.
Yeah, that looks good.
Would be good.
Keeping it clean like 94.
Well, yeah. Well, those jerseys are an option this year. They released the jersey this year. They just haven't worn it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's only going into week 4, so there's still plenty.
They got
of
time to pick your wardrobe. Yeah.
So, all right, that was Thursday night's game. Let's look at this week in the NFL. There's a lot of games on tap, but we're going to preview just a couple of them. We're going to look at Cleveland versus Oakland and KC and Denver.
Well, I'm excited for Cleveland. Get some Baker back. Baker had a big splash and had a comeback win last week. That's pretty exciting.
You want to win, put Baker in. It's like one of those things. It's like Cleveland's got the weapons offensively, and their defense isn't bad. They've kept them in games, and Baker came in versus who'd they play last Thursday? The Jets. Came in against the Jets.
The 2 rookie quarterbacks,
and he came in and he pulled them back. And
what a relief guy, huh?
Yeah,
just came in and saved the day.
So things are definitely looking up for them.
I'm excited to see, now that he's getting the starting reps in practice, I think the Raiders are a good team for him to start against for a full game where he could still probably work. They're not the best team. They're going to play a physical game.
my thoughts with the
Are they in
Raiders.
Cleveland too?
I'm not sure
It might
where
be
it
a away
is.
game. It might be a far trip for him, but
Here's my thing. The Raiders have been up at halftime in every one of their games.
they blow it.
Last week, they were dominating the Dolphins at halftime. Dominating them. And then the second half rolls around and it's like they can't do anything. They can't move the ball. The defense can't stop anybody. It's like two completely different teams. They come out in the first half and they put a beat down on people, and it's like they try to coast the second half and they get beat every time. There's a reason they're 0-3. They can't finish a game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's players. It's just they have not
They don't got the finishing.
They have not figured out how to finish and win a game.
Yeah. I think John Gruden's going to be kind of sad that he didn't get to do a quarterback camp with Baker Mayfield this year because he became the coach. You know, he's met every rookie quarterback for like the last 6 years.
Yeah, something like that.
And now he's probably going to want to do a sit down with Baker and just
talk to him.
Yeah, you want to do some talk, Baker?
I'm sure that'd be a great conversation to listen to.
Yeah, I missed that with John Gruden. We didn't get that this year because he's coaching again.
Yeah. Boy, he looks old on the sideline, doesn't he?
Coaching stretch, dude. I'm telling you, you know how when you see presidents in their their tenure as a president, and you see how they age.
Oh yeah.
I bet there's a handful of young NFL coaches that McVay and stuff that they look young. So and they are
he's
young.
32.
He is young. He's younger than us.
Yeah.
Shit. But I'm John Gruden. How old is he now? 55.
52, somewhere between 52 and 55.
You bring him back to coach, the stress. Not to mention, he was one of the guys that everyone really knows as, hey, I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. I'm going to start watching film. I'm going to start my coaching day and work throughout. He's going to put in an 18-hour day.
Yeah,
and that's going to stress him out.
Totally.
He's going to look old. So, and not to mention, he took a 8-year, 10-year hiatus.
Yeah, and
to come back into it, it's probably a lot of stress.
Yeah, but it was a good opportunity.
He's making bang. Is he the highest paid coach in the NFL?
I want to say,
as far as his options and everything.
I want to say yeah, but see, the Raiders did it pretty smart in my opinion. They put on $100 million for the salary, but it's not all coming salary based. He got team stock options in his contract. So
that's not bad for him, though.
That's great for him. And organizationally, to try and save some money to re-sign players and, work with the salary cap, I think that's a good move. You've got a new stadium coming within the next 2 years. So you definitely have to pinch pennies where you can.
Yeah. So that should be a good game, though. I want to see Baker. And for how much crap I've talked about the Browns. And they've got 1 win, 1 tie.
Yeah. Oh, they should be 3-0. They should be 3-0.
They should. They're not big. So my prediction's still good with 4 wins. But he's definitely,
could be a game changer.
It could be a game changer. So I'm excited to see the Browns. It's hard for me to say it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, we talk a lot of shit about Cleveland.
I've not realized I hated Cleveland so much until I started podcasting. Another game we're going to be talking about is a Monday night game. KC versus Denver.
A big AFC West showdown.
Huge rivalry game.
Oh, big showdown.
One of my favorites.
And always, when I think of this game, I think of Steve Atwater laying out Christian Okoye.
The classic bang. Have you ever seen the history of why the Bengals and the Bengals?
God, Paolo.
It's the whiskey.
I hope so.
The Broncos. The Broncos and why they have a rivalry. It's just good stuff, old school stuff from back in the day, fight starting, late hits, and just good to see. But again, we want to see Mahomes.
What's he going to do against that pass rush?
That Von Miller guy
he's a beast.
Oh,
then you throw Shane Ray and Bradley Chubb in as well. It's like, dude, you better get the ball out quick. But my thing is the Denver secondary up to the task? They got Chris Harris
lost
Jr.
a couple pieces this year.
Yeah, but they got Chris Harris Jr. He's probably going to have to go with Tyreek Hill. I don't know how well that's going to work down the field, but intermittently in like that intermediate range, I think it'll be okay. Kelsey's always in the matchup nightmare. Their safeties I don't think can run with Kelsey. The linebackers I don't think are good enough to play with Kelsey. And then you got Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. I think KC's going to try and run the ball a little bit more this game to try and get Hunt going, to take some of the pressure off Mahomes.
But they're going to be playing in some altitude.
Yeah.
And it's a night game. That breathing is going to be hard, but they have so many weapons. They just got to keep on spreading it out. just dishing here and there. I see the Chiefs taking it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one possession game. I don't know which way. I think I'm with you. I think the Chiefs are going to take it because I don't trust Case Keenum as much late in the game. That and the Broncos receiving core has just been
a little aged.
It's been god awful. I mean, outside of Emmanuel Sanders, there's no really down the field threat. Demaryius Thomas is looking a little old.
That's what I'm saying.
He's getting like 4 or 5 balls, 50, 60 yards. He's not really posing a threat downfield, which is surprising.
They're a defensive team. The defense has got to hold back KC, stop them, and then, hopefully their offense puts up 3 tubs and a couple field goals.
Yeah, it's like I said, one possession game, but I think ultimately it goes to the Chiefs because their weapons are a little better. But if Mahomes struggles with that pass rush, it could be a different story. It's like, look at the Bills-Vikings last week. Nobody saw that coming. Like 33% of the survivor pools got knocked out because of that game.
Oh, yeah.
So, any given Sunday is what they say. So we'll just have to wait and see for that Monday night.
Yeah, so how about do you see any upsets coming up this week?
I don't really know if I'm going to call it an upset, but like historically, the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game has been one of those knockdown, drag-out games.
I'm excited to watch it. It's one of probably the most physical games you're going to see all year.
Yeah, and typically the Steelers tend to get the best of the Ravens, in my opinion. This year, everybody was kind of sleeping on the Ravens, but they're coming out and they're looking good. They made some offseason moves. They picked up John Brown from Arizona. They got Crabtree from Oakland. Their running game has done just enough. Flacco actually looks good.
He's not that boring this year.
Well, I think he got a little motivation when
when they drafted a quarterback.
When they drafted Lamar Jackson and kind of forced his hand a little bit. I think it was a real wake-up call for him.
Well, surprisingly, because Lamar looked good in preseason. As far as his run game, the arm wasn't 100% there. He threw some picks here and there. But his tempo, his speed is impressive for a quarterback.
Yeah, coming out of that Louisville system, it makes sense. It's just, he's not NFL ready yet in terms of the passing and the defense reading. So he's still got a little work to do. He'll do a good job learning behind Flacco and seeing how to handle everything and what to do.
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh, even though they came off a big win against the Bucks, they've been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Big Ben's huge efforts to try and keep them in games, they could very easily be 0-3.
But if they get that fire going, if they get momentum rolling, Pittsburgh is a hard machine to stop.
Well, and you're missing a very big piece in Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Connor's done a decent job,
yeah, but you still
filling
got that
in.
Deep threat with Antonio.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster's been huge.
He's very impressive.
Vance McDonald's was
How old is Juju? Juju's got to be 22, 21?
Something like that. Yeah, he's only a second-year guy. So, yeah, he's 23 at the oldest. So, you got speed on the outside. Schuster he's a physical, 6'2" receiver who's got a little bit of speed.
And he's got solid hands. I don't see him drop too much.
Yeah, and then, you got the tight end game, Jesse James and Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald with the stiff arm of the year coming in the Monday night game against Chris Conde, who subsequently went on the IR after that game, probably because he was so embarrassed that he got stiff armed.
I love a good stiff arm.
Oh, dude, it's so demoralizing.
When you catch him right on that bottom bar of the face mask.
So demoralizing.
Click that neck. Woo!
So demoralizing.
Dude, stiff arms in the YFL Pop Warner system are the best. Helmets are so big on little kids.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get a big stiff arm and they just tumble, it's hilarious.
It's so good. Who do you got for your pick of the week?
Well, I'm going New York Giants versus the New Orleans Saints. I think this is, I don't like to say it, but I think New York might go off on this game. I think it's a good defense they give up a lot of points. I'm excited to see what Saquon does. And, Eli always has a good game randomly. They're in New York.
But do the Giants defensively do enough to stop the Saints?
I think it's a shootout.
The Saints have been putting up some crazy points.
Right. Drew Brees is still...
Dude, he's
insane.
He is on the verge of taking over passing yardage.
He broke a record last week.
Completions or something like that.
He broke Brett Favre's. I don't know if it was completion. I think it might have been number of completions.
Yeah.
Yeah, number of completions. He broke Brett Favre's record last
And
game.
I think he's like 800 and something or 900 yards away from breaking the all-time
That's
yardage
potentially
record.
2 games. That's potentially 2 or 3
Yeah,
games.
2 to 3 games for him. And, Michael Thomas looks good. Alvin Kamara is a beast out of the backfield. I mean, shit, even Ted Ginn's catching touchdowns. So, things are working.
Ted Ginn has been playing forever. And his speed is still impressive. Like,
oh, dude, he's still phenomenally
what was the
fast.
running back from Ohio State that had all that?
Maurice Claret.
He was on that team.
What? That's when Ted Ginn?
That's when Ted Ginn was. That's how old?
Wow.
Yeah.
God, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago. So that's impressive to me to see Ted Ginn still running like that.
And he's been a journeyman, and everywhere he goes, he produces.
He's been a Niner. He's been a Panther. He's been, he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Was he a Raven as well? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, he could have been journeyman. I'll give it up to Ted Ginn. But again, like I said, it's an upset. It's me. Out of the rest of the games, I think this might be a game for the Giants. I could be wrong.
I hope Odell Beckham scores because he's
that's
killing
what I'm
me.
saying. They got the weapons. Odell, I want to see Saquon go off. Should be a good game. It's a 1:30 game, so we'll see how it goes. But that's who I got. But let's talk about another sport, Sean.
Switching some gears.
It's time to represent the red, white, and blue. Golf Ryder Cup 2018. They just selected the teams. I went onto the Golf Channel to see what was going on because it was just straight Ryder Cup all across the board when I looked at my TV menu. And they were selecting the teams, and they had this festival stage set up, outdoor stage. They were in France where the tournament's going to be held. And
Guyenne Court, France.
Ooh, Guyenne. Is that a double L?
No, it's Guyane Court.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're in France, and the crowd is massive. Like I said, they're on the outdoor stage. They have the USA team on the left, the European team on the right, and they have a crowd of people above them. And all I really noticed was about 50 blonde chicks. They were standing above both teams. I don't know if it's their wives or whatever, but there was a ton of hot chicks standing both. I didn't know there was that many hot chicks in golf, but there's a ton.
Oh.
I think it's the money.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's the money. Big money in golf.
But Tiger got a huge response. Mad love for representing Team USA this year. Who else is on the Team USA? We got my boy Brooks on the team, of course, right?
Yeah, so the captain's Jim Furyk. You got vice captains are David Duval, Zach Johnson, Matt Kuchar, Davis Love III, and Steve Stricker. And then the players are Bryson DeChambeau, Tony Finau, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, your boy Brooks Koepka, Phildo Mickelson, Patrick Reed.
Phildo?
Yeah. Webb Simpson, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Bubba Watson, and Tiger Woods. It's pretty stacked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Americans looking pretty strong already.
What about Team Europe?
Team Europe.
Are they heavy on the English? Is that what they do most of the time?
Hold on, I'm switching. All right,
Their crowd was insane. Before they started announcing, who's their captain?
Thomas Bjorn.
Bjorn. Dude, they started doing the ole, ole, ole.
Like a soccer game?
I think this might be the most anticipated Ryder Cup. It's getting a lot of press. Again, one, Tiger's back. And I've never seen a Ryder Cup announcement. It felt like a soccer game.
See, golf's starting to do it right. They're starting to promote things a little more.
Fans are getting out there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more. So Bjorn was up in the stand and he was overwhelmed. He did not think he was going to get this kind of response. And it might be a big, fun competition to watch this year.
So on the Europeans, they got Thomas Bjorn, Luke Donald, Padraig Harrington, Robert Carlson, Graham McDowell, and Lee Westwood. Then they got Paul Casey, Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia, Tyrell Hatton.
Sergio's European?
He's from Spain.
Portugal, Spain?
Spain. Rory McIlroy.
He's a threat.
Francesco Molinari.
We'll say Francisco.
Sure. Alex Naren. Thorbjorn Olsen. Ian Poulter.
Was he in the Vikings TV show?
No.
That's a good Viking name right there.
It is, but he looks like a weenie. John Ram, Justin Rose, and Henrik Stenson.
Heinrich.
Mm-hmm. So
let me guess, is he German?
I would, Heinrich could go either way. I think he's Swedish.
Oh. Well, Team Europe, I'm just letting you know, you stink.
Merca.
Red, white, and blue.
America.
Boom. Is there fireworks allowed at golf tournaments?
Well, there should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's going to be some.
I know. So how does it work? So they match up, or is it teams?
Yeah, it's team match play. It's like they got foursomes going out tomorrow, and it's like doubles pairing, and I forget. I'm not a big follower on how the scoring works. I'm always confused. It's like, oh, they went 3 and 4 and 4 up and down. I'll check it out right now.
I think we should jump aboard, and I know it's football season, and I'm not telling you to watch it, but just throw out some USA love for this Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it's the 42nd Ryder Cup.
Okay, so it's not for golf tournaments. That's not that old.
No.
Because there's been, yeah. I'm just saying, get online, follow Tiger, Brooks Koepka, anyone. Let's give them love. Let's, at least social media wise.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to have fun celebrating USA.
Unless they lose.
They're not, because we're going to give them so much support. On my whistle, backing. Let's go.
Okay. We sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
All right. So we're going to switch gears again, going from a thing like golf into a more high octane like UFC.
I'm excited. I know it's been a while, but you got to think about it. Before Conor, UFC was kind of phasing away again. We had, I think Conor came back when Ronda was carrying the league. Mm-hmm. And Conor blew it up. I remember when me and Elise first started dating, it was like, what do you want to do this Saturday? I'm like, we're going over to Louis because he's always got the UFC going on. And it felt like, I would watch a UFC fight every month. It didn't have to be Conor, but because of Conor, we were watching. After the boxing match, I haven't bought a pay-per-view since.
Well, I'm not going to spend $90 on a fight because the last time we watched it, it was like one round. It was weak.
But you know what I'm talking about, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there hasn't been that match or that fight that even like the Triple G Canelo fight. I don't want to watch that.
No, who wants to spend $125 to watch that shit?
It's insane. Do you remember when pay-per-views were like $40?
Oh, yeah.
Or you could just get it on the black box.
Dude.
Like, we're going to Sergio's. He's got the black box. And we'd be sitting in a little living room.
Oh, and you got 30 people in there?
Oh, but it was a good fight. It was like Mike Tyson or Holyfield. And if it was a Tyson fight, don't get chips right now. Fight's going to be over quick.
Yeah.
Don't run to the bathroom.
See, like you said, Ronda carried the UFC for a little bit, and before that, it was kind of like Chuck, Tito, and then...
but it was still more of a bloodbath. You just wanted to see people get knocked out there.
Yeah. Then you had like Randy in there, and you had guys that could carry it. And then you threw in guys like Rampage Jackson and
BJ Penn was fun to watch from
BJ Penn was fun.
George St. Pierre,
Anderson Silva,
which is one of my favorites. Even not Strike Force, Pride.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch. Had the Crow Cops and freaking Fedor.
Oh, dude, Fedor back in the day.
But so after the whole bus incident, throwing the freaking dolly into the bunts with Khabib, at first I thought, man, this is kind of like a funky pitch. But I'm really excited to see this fight. And the press conference was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Connor's got his own whiskey now, too, which I want to get.
Proper
12?
Yeah, something like that.
In it.
I'm not an Irish whiskey guy.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
It's not a bourbon.
It's not a bourbon. And we're definitely liking our American spirits.
Yes.
But, he had it out there with next to his 2 belts. He had a purple fit on. And Khabib just...
Him in that stupid fuzzy hat.
He can't do it, man. He's not the press conference guy. And I think, with Conor being the guy, his opponent, I think he gets distracted by the media attention. I think he gets distracted by the shit talking because Conor's the best.
Oh, dude,
the best.
He can flap his gums with the best of them.
And don't get me wrong.
He backs it up.
What are some minuses against Conor? He hasn't fought in forever.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a little spoiled. Maybe he's not competing as hard or practicing as hard as he used to. But that's it.
The dude can scrap.
The guy is going to scrap. He's focused. And the other thing I like is, maybe like Muhammad, when he's talking shit, he does the best. And a lot of people think, oh, he's just a character. He's too cocky. But when he steps into the octagon, or when Muhammad would step into the ring, they were the ultimate competitor.
Oh, yeah.
The best. And like Conor was saying to Khabib, oh, you want to wrestle? You going to wrestle me? I'll box the shit out of you. It was just... And I think that's a true thing. Like, Khabib is a ground and pound guy.
If he can't take him down, it's going to be a long night for him.
Well, that's the thing is like Khabib might make this thing go 5 rounds, and it might be tough on both opponents. But if Conor stays away, throws his ones and twos, gets his funky kicks in, Khabib is going to be hurting. It could be one of the first bloodbaths, I think, for Conor.
I'm calling upset.
You want? Well, okay.
I want Nurmagomedov to win.
You said that. You say that so good.
Yeah. A guy that works on our shift. He's a big UFC fan. His name's Will. He knows everything about everything when it comes to UFC. He's been telling me about Khabib for probably a better part of a year. He's showing me some of his old fights, just how nasty this dude is.
Right.
I mean, he's a ground and pounder, but he's got a little bit of a stand-up. I don't think he's got a McGregor stand-up game. If he stands up, tries to go toe-to-toe, punch for punch with McGregor, he's going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
But if he can mix in a few punches with some ground attack, I think he's got a decent chance. Conor's coming off a big fight layover. It's when did he fight
Mayweather?
Last
year
year
and a half ago.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I mean, granted, he's probably training up a ton, but he's also been living the high life, promoting himself, and making that money.
Well, he's enjoying his family, and like he said in the interview, he's like, I don't got to fight for any money anymore. Thank God, I don't got to fight for money anymore. But I love fighting.
Yeah,
there's
something to be said about that,
right? I'm excited to see it. And again, I'm sure there's a lot of doubt because Conor hasn't fought in a while, but I'm just glad that Conor's back because he's bringing the UFC back to life. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm not going to order it, but I'm sure I'll watch it somehow.
The undercard fights, I have no idea who else is fighting.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. October 6th, though. I'm probably going to order it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want to see it live right before I go to work.
Yeah.
Get to, talk about something.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Last but not least, it's almost NBA season.
God, is it that time already?
Oh, man. Hoops.
I thought we just got done talking about this shit.
I know. All the trades. Now it's time to see what's going on. When's the first game? October 16th or somewhere around there, mid-October. But I want to get into a fantasy basketball league this year.
So Paulo's concocted an idea. Hold My Whistle is going to start a fantasy basketball league.
Yeah.
Paolo and I are 1 and 2. Our teams are in.
Yes.
We're thinking of starting a 10-man league.
Right. But we want our listeners to be part of the league.
Yes.
So if you want to be part of our league, get onto our Instagram or Facebook and give us your best promotion to get into our league.
Why should you be on our league?
Maybe you have the funniest team name.
Yes.
Say, hey, I want to be in your league. This is my team name. You want to, that's probably an entry-level person. If you really, maybe take a cool Hold My Whistle themed, NBA fantasy themed picture and tag us in it. Make a video. And if you have the coolest thing, maybe you'll get first pick in our NBA league or draft. It's going to be a lottery.
Oh, it's a lottery, not a draft.
I know NBA has a lottery, so we might lottery you. You might get more votes or balls in for the lottery.
So we're still working out the details for that.
Are we going to throw Josh in?
We're going to try and throw Josh in.
How about we throw him in and he doesn't know?
Yeah, but he listens, so he's probably going to know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
It's a big week for him. He's watching a lot of film.
Yeah. We'll find out. But fantasy basketball, throwing it out to the listeners.
We want you in. And the win, unless it's me or Sean, which it probably is because we have a sports podcast and we know what we're talking about.
Right?
Well, pretty much. We're winners. But if we happen not to win and there's a big upset, one of our listeners could win a Hold My Whistle gift basket.
With assorted items that you will find out if you win.
Yes.
Could be great. It could be shitty. You'll never know.
How are your gift basket building skills? Have you ever built one?
Pretty substandard.
Yeah.
I think my wife will be great at it, though.
Oh, well, we could ask for her help.
Yeah, I think that's always a positive.
Yeah, but NBA is coming up. And, even though, like I said, it's only 3 weeks away, it feels like it's a little early for me.
God, it's not even Halloween and we're already talking about basketball.
Well, and that's what it kind of reminds me of is, they're talking about, you see in the press conferences and they're doing these preseason interviews, why the Warriors shouldn't win another championship, this and that. And all it feels like to me is like I'm listening to Christmas music in October.
Yeah, God.
When Halloween hasn't even happened. When they turn on Christmas music that early, I'm like, oh, man, is it already that time? Not that I don't like the NBA. I love the NBA. But it just feels really early. And like I said, it was probably one of the craziest off seasons with LeBron moving.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of moves.
Kawhi move and this and that. Even with the the whole stuff in Minnesota that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
It's just like, but am I excited? Am I going to go full force into this season? Absolutely. Get into our fantasy league, get on our Instagram, tell us you want to be in, get that gift basket.
Right. But looking at our cheat sheet here, that's pretty much it. All we got for this show.
Yeah.
We covered some stuff. Looking forward to another great week in football. Got a big game tomorrow night versus Lompoc.
Big game.
Big game.
One of the best games I ever saw last year.
Yeah, it was a great
against
game.
Lompoc.
It was a great game.
Yeah, it was crazy that it was a Thursday night game too.
We didn't play Thursday night.
Yeah, last year against Lompoc was Thursday night. They had it on TV.
Was it Thursday?
Yeah, because Cabrillo had the Friday night game. We played a Thursday night game against Lompoc last year.
I don't remember that.
But it was intense.
Yeah,
it was one of the best things I've ever seen. Super proud of the boys who played in that game last year.
Hoping for some good things this year.
Yeah, first game in league.
Yep, brand new channel league. Come out if you're not doing anything. 7:00 at Yuck Stadium in Lompton. Check it out. Shouldn't be too windy. It'll probably get cold, so bring a jacket.
Yeah, or drink. Maybe don't drink whiskey at a high school game, but it'll keep you warm.
Yeah, do it before the game. Before the game.
All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of Hold My Whistle. I'm Paolo.
I'm Foy.
Hit the music. We're out of here.
Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just put your lips together and you come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby, whistle?